Appropriately behind Lisa is the toilets if you need them.
Savage.
Alright, so this is a service when you're not having a service. Dad just wanted it simple, just a case of same type thing. Feel free to come up and say anything you want, within reason. And then we're just going to, at the end of it, we'll take him out to the hearse, at which point he'll go up to Manu and be cremated. So afterwards, once this is over, everyone's invited to come back to our place. We're going to have a few snacks and all that there, so I don't think we're
a few snacks and actually
yeah.
was in the kitchen, so it's going to be a little bit more than a few snacks.
So we're going to need you all to help get rid of it. So just those that don't know where we are, just follow us up anyway. Don't go following the hearse, you'll starve. Right. Do you want to say anything at this point, Marl, or you?
Well, I have a little poem, but, well, if I start too much, I'm just going to howl my eyes out. No, I'll give the little, it was just one I read, and I thought it was rather nice. It actually could apply to all of us who have loved ones, and for a lot of you younger ones, more is take the words in and look at your own lives and think, how can I improve my life or my loved one? Now, reading glasses. I don't doubt I'll break down several times and verbal
Just leave the box here.
Oh, that. I don't read it because this one I'm not. Right, time for me to go now. I won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows way up in the sky. In the morning sunrise, when all the world is new. Just look for me and love me, as you know I love you. Told you. Time for me to leave you. I won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows, high up in the sky. In the evening sunset, when all the world is through. Just look for me and love me, and I'll be close to you. It won't be forever. The day will come and then my loving arms will hold you when we meet again. Time for me to part now. We won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows, shining in the sky. Every waking moment and all your whole life through. Just look for me and love me. As you know, I love you. Just wish me to be near you, and I'll be there with you. And as I say, that applies to not just me, but for every single one of you. You have a life still to live, and it means don't be selfish. Your partner is very, very important to you. And it's very important to give them the happiness that they have. He always wanted me to have the best. Well, we never had the best of everything, but we never wanted it. In the last few months, Vic was running out of energy. So nothing got done around the place. I'd start to do something, Dick would feel embarrassed that I was doing a bit of work and he wasn't. That was typical of him. So you work, I'll do it. And so I'm saying to you, every moment is precious. And we've all, each day is one shorter day for us here. I fully believe there's more to this life than what we know. Dick used to say, when asked did he believe, he said you just have to be a farmer to see what's around you, to believe. All of nature. Look at nature. And I think that although we know money is important and things have to be done, never make it your God ever. Because tomorrow you could lose your loved one. And think of all those things you could have been doing instead. Dick and I had a great life. Never a dull moment. He had me laughing so many times. And from the phone calls I've been getting from people, friends, most of them, who loved it, really loved it. On the phone, I don't know who was crying the most, him or me. And even in the home where he was, in the hospital, the nurses said all the same, he was their favourite patient. They all loved him. I were even crying when they rang me up. So Dick was interested in everyone. He was interested in life. He was interested in helping people. And I think he did that very well, even down to when he was driving towards the end of his career, a school bus. They put him on this because it was riotous, shall we say. So Dick got on, and you could say at the end of the year, this riotous mob was bringing in cards and gifts that they'd made and all sorts of things, because he came their father confessor. They couldn't tell Mum different things, they couldn't tell anyone different things. If they could tell their either, and he always had good advice. So I think he was what you would call an old gentleman. He believed in honesty and straight out loving your neighbour. So, even though they hate your neighbour as Pete did last night or this morning, when they were fighting.
Oh no, we love.
I always say, well, you don't have to love them, but don't harm them. So, go on with your life and see what you can do to help that other person have a little bit of happiness in their life, even though you know you haven't got long to go. Because your reward is still to come. And that I firmly believe. You can either believe this or not. That's over to you. We all remember Grace. Sister, and our auntie. Oh, Grace was my sister-in-law. Dick was up there with his brother Jim, and I think Anne. Weren't you up there when Grace died?
Yes.
Right. Dick and I had just been up the day before, we just got home, and then he got a phone call to say after which he was going, so up he goes again. Said to me, stay home because you may need to notify people, which I did. Then I didn't know what to do, so I was ironing, and Dick rang me up and said, she's just passed. And of course that was an awful shock, because Grace to me was a mother, a sister, and a very good friend. So it was a bit tough, but I thought, oh, I've got to ring her and let her know, because she was extremely fond of Grace. And when I rang Lynn was in tears, and she said, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And I said, well then just carry on your day as you will plan, because that's what Grace would have wanted. So I put down their phone afterwards, and the next minute in my head, as clear as must any, came a voice. That's exactly what I do say, Shirley. Never be afraid of dying. It is only one step. I am amazed. And then she said something I was surprised at. Stop worrying about Dick. There are many looking after him. And also, something no one ever knew, stop being afraid of dying. believe it or not. So, to that end, all I can say is, Nick, we had a great 48 years. And I wouldn't swap them for anything. Any more than joy. Something similar. Bless you all for coming. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Dick would have been blown away, all you guys here today. He, as Shirley said, he didn't want to fuss. He was told Peter once he was happy to go straight from his hospital bed to the oven, as he put it, with no stops in between. That was Dick, but he also would have loved us as well. He would have loved the attention that he's getting today, as he always loved the family gatherings that we've all had over the years with him. I think nearly all of us have had a gathering with him in the last few years.
Every Christmas was his last for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's saying this.
We never thought he'd get through the first one, did we?
And he loved everybody, as Shirley said. In the time I've known Dick, which I wish was a hell of a lot longer, he never had a bad word to say about anybody. He was one of those people, if you didn't have anything nice to say about someone, you don't say anything. And I really admired him for that. It's so easy to grumble about people. And he really just wanted everyone to be happy and to get on. For example, he loved seeing me and Faye having our cuddles. You know, that gave him great pleasure, as he would have been seeing Lisa here today, because we've all been a big part of his life. And yeah, he loves everyone, doesn't matter what the history is. And he always said to us, coming back up north, which is where he wanted to die, and fantastic that he got his lifelong wish. But he said, when I go up to Whangarei, you know, I'm going to sort these bloody Langmans out. And he'd be absolutely delighted that all of you are here today. That was his goal in life, was to sort you lot out. So, fantastic. And yeah, thanks for coming and honouring him today. He was more than a father-in-law, if you like, to me. From the day I met him, the day I walked into their house down at Kelston, I felt, you know, he was my father. I've never been close to my own parents, and yeah, he was always there for me. Just, you know, even just in the last couple of years, if my car was off the road and I needed a ride across town, it would be, I'll be there, you know.
And you're like, no, please don't go on.
But the fact that he would volunteer to do that.
I'll walk, it's only 25k.
Yeah, just the type of person he is, who would do absolutely anything for you. Even up to the days before he went into hospital, after he got the shingles, he was still baking, doing his ginger slice and his fruit slices and his cakes, and I'd quite often get home from work and there would be a little tinfoil package outside the door. Well, for someone in their 90s to be doing that sort of stuff is absolutely amazing. He really wasn't going to give up until he had to. So, yeah, I hope I'm like that. He's certainly taught me a lot. And yeah, utmost respect.
I have to say something, obviously, as well. I've only just got a little bullet point, so I don't know how much of this I'll remember. The photos, I think, are actually quite a good little indication of his life. Because he always talked about bulldozers when he talked about his past. So we managed to get some photos of bulldozers. Good. You're your throat, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. And then you got your, your ABC buses, those blooming green buses that used to troll around West Auckland. I think the one thing I always remember, and I can't quite remember if it was before they got married or not, but we took the Heri bus route out to Piha. It was a middle road. The buses took the whole corner. God knows what happened if any car was coming the other way. They would not have made it. I don't know how often that bus trip went out to Piha, but it was probably maybe once a week or so. But it was pretty awesome to do. So it's stuck in my memory. And I think Metapuri, Mum and Dad got married. That was the first I got introduced to Metapuri and the barn and that beach just up there, just awesome. Things happen in your life, you carry on going, you don't always come back to these places, but they stick there, they stay in your mind. And you'll never ever forget Metapuri and Woody's Bay, Sandy Bay. There's horses, I've also got one up there, couldn't remember the name, I think it was called Shirley Abel. I developed a love of going to the trots. I got a photo, which I didn't frame, but probably the only photo I've got with Peter, when he was a youngster with hair out to here. We were out looking at one of the horses out at Kumeu, but he just passionately loved horses, and not even so much as we all know. I mean, it's the one Sky Channel he had, was horse racing. Just loved it, loved watching them, and yeah, the trots. We went a few times together. We must have gone quite a bit, maybe when we were, when I was younger. But yeah, definitely loved going to night trots. Way better than gallops. It was just so cool. And like Jude just said, especially for me when I was on my own at home, he was just there. If I needed anything doing, there was one person I could call on, and it was him. And the one thing that sticks in my mind, I had a tree, because I've got a lot of trees on my section, and when it fell down, and I think we had to get it down off a fence, and he blooming comes with a saw, and he's friggin' climbing the top of this fence, and it's like, don't fall off, it's so high, it's like, I couldn't have got up there, but he just didn't think twice, he'd bring his huge mulcher with me, and we'd go and mulch things around the section, or it would fall apart, we'd have to pull it apart, and put it together again. It's just totally what, Cedric, he would never help, he was just there to help, he was there for everybody, and that's just awesome, just so awesome. And here even in Whangarei, and it's like he's falling over in his jangles again because he's watering the garden, trips over the hose, and it's like, how did he not break anything? He didn't. It's just amazing. And there's just, there's way too many stories to remember, but they're always going to be there, and you're never going to forget. He's always interested in other people and their stories, and just so many, his love of so many different things passed on in different ways. He has so much knowledge. Building this boat just fascinates me. He was using, I think, not having to use metric wood and do it in the old measurements, Man, how hard would that have been, and frustrating. Yeah, his knowledge, his enthusiasm for life. I should say your enthusiasm. You might not be here, but you are here. Hopefully listening to us.
Don't mumble.
Don't mumble.
Don't mumble.
I'm not mumbling.
I can't hear you.
That was just saying to me. He was there for 9 months.
I said to Mum, she can talk really well on the phone now. Every time I'd ring her up, it'd be like, I can't talk. It's my throat. You've been yelling too much,
Not in anger. It's like to get him to hear me.
So yeah, it's just memories, and that's why we're all here, I got something from Rebecca about old Reid at the end, which she just sent me, emailed to me last night because she's in Dunedin, and it was really a bit of a stretch to try and get here, but she sure as heck wanted to be here, that's for sure. She loved him dearly. And just the memories, just everything. Christmases, all the time now, awesome. How you did it, I do not know.
40 years.
So many people, it's just like, wow. And he loved it. It was for him, wasn't it? He wanted everyone to be together. It's just, just so cool. And call everyone's here today. So, he's certainly a man that we will never ever forget, and very special impact in our lives. Thanks for listening, guys.
So thank you all for coming, those that have travelled big distances and all that, really. Anyone else got anything to say?
Yeah, mate, I have. Yes. We didn't probably have as much to do with the local dick and you guys as we probably should have, especially in the middle area. But I always remember that crib board. Remember that crib board, Dennis? Yeah. He gave Mum, the sister, our mum, Jane, this crib board that had been hand carved, apparently, and it was beautiful, Maori carving ornate. The story behind it was he had helped this guy out in a fight. This guy just carved his crib board up for him. So, yeah, so, as you say, that's helping people. And I guess the other thing I really have to be grateful for is he certainly helped resolve the land issue. We lost our brother, our oldest brother last year. And I guess we're all in the same room now. It's pretty good. Good place to stay. Yeah. Thanks, Uncle.
Remember every time we went to Carmo, we'll find an excuse to be going past your shop to pop in and have a yarn and chew your ear. Yeah, he loved that. He loved catching up with people.
Oh, it was good, but look, he did shout out. Well, you had to shout to get over
Yeah.
through the
You
shops.
had to shout.
What's going on?
Then you turn around and say, "Don't you? Don't yell at me."
Yeah, it would be speak up and then you start, and it's like you don't need to shout.
Yeah, he probably like the rest of us had one good ear, but he could change it.
Yeah. Well, he had hearing aids, and his last ones were really good at Bluetooth, which came in this little thing that he could clip onto his collar.
So like a separate microphone that he could sort of put there and hear over here now.
Yeah. But of course, you never knew whether he had them in or not. So you'd be shouting and shouting, then he'd nip away and stick them in, and you'd come back and then that's when he'd say, "You don't need to shout." But you never knew whether it was wearing them or not, because I guess most people with them don't like wearing them. Yeah, funny.
Boy, they did a drawer full of them, and they feel good.
Yeah.
God only knows what they cost the taxpayer. We got blamed it on the artillery in the war.
Dad's hearing aids used to reside on the down shelf.
Well, we were fortunate. All of us, we many years of plants and I still kill them. I just can't do it. Many holidays spent there, like Channel 7 cups of teas, watching Coronation Street. He brought a Sega for us to play, but the one thing that sticks is I was at the top of the hill in Kelston. And I was on a skateboard and Poppa said, "I can do better than you." Unfortunately, he picked up the proper skateboard, not the plastic skateboard. And he did do better than me because he did go down the hill. And unfortunately, I had to then go and get Nana and say we need to ring an ambulance because he injured down quite severely. And so it was a standard joke that he could always outskate me. But yeah, on behalf of all of us, everybody, he was awesome. Beast. We love you.
No elbows on the table.
No elbows. Elbows on the table. Don't get hit. Except you were always allowed yours on the table.
It's the same special.
Elbows on the table.
Look at that, Mummy.
I first met her. I was in a car accident and I was lying in a hospital bed. And this tall, skinny guy walked in and sat down and introduced himself. And I had my mother's family there. And he was sitting there with his tie on, you know, ABC. And they were all saying, making jokes about that tie. And he said, well, actually, it says, assembled before Christ. Some of them reckon, Auckland Brewery Company. And it was his bus tie. So that was the first time I met him.
Reid, Bella.
Just adding to what you were saying about the skateboard. He taught me everything off one leg, you know, all the come away. And I can always remember Dick said he was laying there thinking, now how can I get up to that house? So he got the skateboard, he lay on it, and with one good leg, he got me to pull, and you to help push. But the funniest thing, remember whenever your kids got hurt or did something silly,
Hasn't
he'd say,
fallen off.
hasn't fallen off.
Hasn't fallen off.
fallen off yet.
Hasn't
No,
fallen
it
off.
hasn't fallen off. Well, I can remember you looking down at him and us trying to pull him up, and you saying, hasn't fallen off. Something Dick and I never forgot. I mentioned that, you know, during our conversation, you know, we talked about.
It was a big hill.
Well, you can remember it was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell you, talk about fun times. He was never sort of scared to do anything when he knocked down that terrace. He went to about, it was an old terrace, and you know, they were horrible. And it was all concrete and all that horrible stuff. And he started, and he went all day, and right through to 1 o'clock in the morning before he would stop with a gate or whatever.
Neighbours must have loved him.
Yeah, I tell you. And till he got it all down. Now what they don't know, the ones that walk the place, is that under the new terrace and up the driveway is miles of concrete underneath. So that was it, he wouldn't stop it. It had to be done, it had to be done. On the other road. But he always would, you know, he even had jobs at home that he got. He was trying, I think he knew he was losing it a bit, and naturally getting weaker. So we kept saying, now I've got that to do, I've got that to do, and if I get that done, I'll be happy. He did get them done anyhow. I think he did too.
The cousin do it. Stop.
Reasonably well for that age.
It's heavy.
So,
Just half.
has anyone else got a little comment? Yeah, read something over the house.
And this is very, very true. Dick to a T. From Rebecca, who is another granddaughter to Dick. Honey.
She called it a masterful storyteller. That's one of the first things that comes to mind when I think of Poppa. He loved to tell stories, and he had an infinite number of them, that's for sure. From saving his friend from drowning in Matakori, to camping at Kaiiwi Lakes and sleeping in potato sacks on the beach, he always had a captivating story to share for his colourful and eventful life. I loved our chats, and it made me so happy to see his face light up in his retellings. He loved his life. He always told us how grateful he was that he had lived and seen so much, and for all his memories with the people he loved. He inspired me with his outlook on life, for how much he appreciated his loved ones, and how he made the most of whatever was going on around him at the time. I always left his company feeling extra happy and excited about life. I'm going to miss him so much, miss his beaming smile when Mum and I would walk through the door, his laugh, his hugs, and his little pearls of wisdom. I'll miss his unconditional love for Nana and Mum and I. I'm so grateful for the important part he played in my life so far, and for every moment we shared together. He didn't let life slip by or take anything for granted, and I want to always carry that attitude with me. It makes the loss a little less hard, knowing that he lived his long and beautiful life so well. Love you always. We kind of thought that was pretty cool. Very cool. But thank you, Rex. On a special thanks.
Okay, so the girls wrote a couple of things on. To be honest, I couldn't read them. But I invite you all to have a read.
You want me to read? Okay. Is that all right if I read them, girls?
Question now, Nick. Taken me all day to write, this still doesn't seem real. My heart is hurting for all my Reid whānau. R.I.P. Poppa Reid was not the news I was expecting to hear today. My last Poppa, now up in heaven, out of pain. A little smiley, tear faces. I'm so glad I had all of those school holidays, Christmas with you and Nana. Things we used to do, like going out on the boat for a spin, end up turning us red as lobsters, and having to sleep on tummies, having cups of tea and biscuits while watching the news in Coronation Street. Always had pudding, French vanilla ice cream, jelly and peaches guaranteed. Going to the markets to sell gardening and knitted stuff, hitting those speed bumps because you knew it would make us laugh. And knowing when the light would turn green every single time. All these beautiful memories are going to be treasured forever. Sending all my love to the whānau up there. Hopefully you'll be able to come up. Love you, Poppa, always and forever. This took me a long time to write, going back and forth. New memories. I hope it shows how amazing and awesome you were as a grandparent. And then we have a little one. I assume that was from Chanel. And this is from Jackie. I'm not used to all these names all over the place. It's confusing. Today heaven has gained another good one. Thank you, Poppa, for the love, memories and plant stores we used to go to all the time. You're a truly amazing Poppa to all your grandchildren and great-grandchildren and father-in-law to our mum. We're all truly grateful we got to spend time with you a few months ago. Much love to Nana, Dad and the rest of the whānau. We will love you always. Thank you, girls.
Anyone else want to have another crack at it? Before we get up there. Look at it, good list about anything. Just want to thank everyone for tuning up here. Show you love and respect for my father, and also to support Mum with this moment. I know a lot of you travel long distances, and we come through bloody checkpoints and stuff like that, and that's the way things are these days. So all I can say is rest in peace, Dad, and I love you. Yeah, I did a quick internet search. Jacinda hasn't put a checkpoint on the way up, so.
Not yet.
So he'll get a clear
Give
run.
it time.
Yeah, she'll do it. They haven't put it on level 3 yet, so he should have a smooth path.
Only did.
I'm just going to let them know that we're ready, so those that I've asked to be all bearers, once I come back in, we'll grab it. Obviously we're going to go head first, never send them out the door, feet first. And yeah, I'll just throw something on. This was his favourite track. Get a facial recognition with the face mask on. Yeah. Here we go.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross
Alright.
with the deepest and best for a world.
I knew not to massage. You right, Jay?
So I cherish the old rugged
You're alright, you're having a tick. No, alright. Come and stand over here. Oh, get them walking it out.
Hold the position. Hold position. On the wheels to the back, so
stained with blood so divine, a wondrous beauty I see. It was on that old cross Jesus suffering.
There's no one like you, did
No, you can